Flying Ninja Squirrels! Ha! In association with with Couch Your Pressed Kitty, who unfortunately has a thing that she must do today. It's sad but true. All right. And of course, we have today's ableist joke. How do you get a one-armed moron out of a tree? Wave! Ha! Hello, all you folks out there in YouTube land. Lord of the Croc Squirrels here with some Opal Dragons. The pearlescent the opalescent dragon.
Yep, just waiting so that I can see the stream.
You should be able to.
You're not sharing with me.
Am I not? Oh no, I have to. Wait, did you click on my? Did you click on my thing?
I can't because it's only 2 people.
I can't do a screen share either. Why is this not working? Hang on a second. Let me refresh this. That's a very boring. I agree. It's kind of a boring joke, but it works. All right. You should be able
there we go.
There. Can you see me now, Mr. Opal Dragon? Well, no, you can't, but that's okay. All right, number 75. Yeah, that's an old. That's an old, very tired joke. And to be perfectly honest, I selected this one in particular because, according to Tim Pool and several other people that I have at least some respect for, Tim Pool especially, because he tries to find the good and the sideways and kind of the side notes in everything. Yeah, apparently Captain Marvel is hot garbage. In fact, the man usually doesn't do... The longest video I've seen out of him to date on his Timcast channel, or on the Timcast News channel, is about 12 minutes. He went on a 21-minute tirade about Captain Marvel. He made the mistake of going to see it, but just he said he wasn't going to this weekend. He had nothing better to do, and his friends dragged him out, blah, blah, blah. And dude went spoilerific batshit all over that movie. Not that there was much to spoil. It doesn't sound like there was anything to start with. Really. So, for those of you who are amused / interested / whatever, yes, daylight savings time has started on the left coast and throughout all of the other bits of North America that do that kind of thing. I know there are some places in Indiana and the whole time zone that likes to switch back and forth because they don't want to do that. The mountain time zone disappears this time of year, if I remember correctly. It becomes part of our time zone, the Pacific time zone. And then it becomes separate during the winter times.
I'm just laughing at all of you because I live somewhere sane. We don't do daylight savings time.
I don't think it's actually a question of sanity at this point. I think it's just a case of, well, shit. How the hell are we going to get this? How the hell are we going to do this one now? No, actually, there... The problem, of course, is that there was a thought in somebody's brain, since this is actually the last movie before Endgame, there was a thought that something in this, that there were going to be bits in this movie that were going to connect it, and it, you know, Richard, and well, it should be, and well, it will be for at least a while. I'm not sure when you guys switch, Richard, but yeah, it's kind of a thing. Sorry, I was going to do this stream yesterday and I just wasn't ready. I still had a bunch of stuff to do, and then one of the games that we had, I think we can do some commentary on one of the games, although we do not have any footage of it at this point. Opal and I are just going to talk about the bits that we actually got our hands on. Or the bits that he got his hands on, and some of the stuff that I know from probably after that. 3 weeks. Oh, man. Suck. We should stay that way, man. I don't mind being a mere 7 hours behind you Brits. It actually makes it easier for you guys.
I'll have to look up which country it is, but apparently there's one country that does daylight savings times based on whenever the leader wants to, and it's not always hour intervals. It could be like 45-minute interval shift, and it's really weird from what I'm told.
Well, I can imagine that would make the trains late. Especially the international trains. Yeah. And there are some parts of Europe in which there are large parts of Europe, in fact, where international trains are a thing. Wrath Aeon of Ruin, I have not seen this. I haven't seen that either. It's kind of a... Anyway, in the news, Captain Marvel is hot garbage that the average 8-year-old could probably spend 5 to 10 words and tie up most of the plot holes. The ones that are there now, I could probably put large clusters of galaxies through it and not have any chance of hitting anything. Really a bad thing. You know what? I'll look at that later, Draki.
Hold on. We must obey our overlords. As Disney says, Captain Marvel is perfect. It is excellent. You must watch it, for it is the only strong female role you'll ever see in this or the last century. Okay, we filled our obligations.
Right. Whereupon my response to this is exterminate.
Well, considering the level of power they have to resurrect the dead, to do their will, we should be very careful about challenging Disney. Last thing we need is the army of the dead coming after us.
Yeah, you know what? You know what? Cyber Mickey can fuck off. Okay? Devil May Cry scene had a scene that was edited only on PlayStation 4. Not surprised. On a game that was rated mature. And the Michael Jackson scene? No, I don't think so. No, it was The Simpsons that actually removed episode 301 of their series from all forms of distribution going forward because Michael Jackson had a voice part.
I'm not going to say a thing. I'm not going to say a thing on that. I'm just...
And all because somebody made a documentary about how Mikey was accused and never convicted of diddling children. I'm not going to say he did or did not do this. There was lots of claims, but no convictions. Therefore, I cannot say whether he did or did not do this. It's the same thing I would say about one Orenthal James Simpson.
He can't even defend himself.
What?
He can't even defend himself. It's like, in all honesty, is crapping on graves the new trend these days? Oh, sorry, I couldn't.
No. They use some serious necromancy on Stan Lee of all the people to promote Captain Marvel. And to promote a movie that was hot garbage. I mean, actually, you know what? Honestly, I am now completely of the opinion that I am being completely cruel, vicious, and obnoxious at hot garbage.
Yeah, but
let the retardedness flow. That's really what I'm hearing here. Let the retardedness flow because it must.
Yeah.
What is it with people? I swear, Okay, Richard, I would be inclined to agree, but it's been 20-some seasons now, and honestly, from what I heard, from what I stopped watching I stopped watching any of The Simpsons after season 5, and I really think that they should have let that show die somewhere between 8 and 10.
Yeah.
Draki, I think we're still being offensive to Cold Gruel. I really think we're still being offensive to Cold Gruel at that rate. The thing is, YouTube is manipulating the search algorithm to keep the quote unquote trusted folks, as in the lamestream media coverage of Captain Marvel, up near the top, and anybody that's critical is being shunted down. You have to be seriously freaking popular to even make the first 10 pages these days. I swear. You know, Jeremy from the Quartering, he manages to stay on page 1 somehow. But most of the rest of the people, this being critical of Captain Marvel at this point is a guarantee of getting shunted way down in the algorithm. Everybody hit that like button, because quite frankly, it's going to have to happen.
Yeah.
The Minor Squirrels Fund is running a tad short today. I don't know why. We'll get that worked out eventually. Also note that somehow or another, I am still the stream boss for the 3rd stream straight. Nobody's actually managed to come up with enough to try and kill me. Okay, you're talking about the first 2 Alien films, Richard? Because those were good. Those were very good. And really, Sigourney Weaver and Ripley were the grandmama of super strong female lead characters, at least in the modern sense.
Yep. And here's something I pointed out to somebody. If you look at it, like, if you just take her out of context from the movie she played in, you look at Sigourney Weaver, she's average.
Yeah.
Yet for some reason, she was considered a sex symbol for quite a long time.
Well, and you know, it's
because she played a kick-ass character.
Yeah, actually, there's a lot of it. That she had absolutely no problem splitting her legs wide open in the 70s. In a pair of thin cotton panties to put a spacesuit on.
Yep. Actually, yeah, I actually seen that poster in person. I remember going to somebody's house and they had it.
Well, it was a 30-second clip out of the end of the film, and every guy I knew at that time, I mean, that was 5 years old. There were kids my age. There were much older children. There were adults that would stop, or they would do whatever they could to get as long a look as they could at that particular scene.
Yep.
Okay. But Ripley was a character that was a product of the period that Sigourney Weaver came from, as well as the era that she was playing in. You could separating Sigourney Weaver from the character of Ripley while you were watching these films was not gonna happen. You couldn't do it. Okay? For the longest time, for a great many years, I didn't know that. I honestly thought her name was Ripley. I didn't realize that was the name of the character and not the Gorham actress. She was in a couple of other films in between that and Aliens, including, if I remember correctly, the original Ghostbusters. I'm going, oh, that's Ripley. That was it. That was the only thing I could think. Oh, Ripley. I said, no, that's Sigourney Weaver. No, her name is Ripley. No, that was the character she played in Alien. What? That was a conversation that actually happened. Okay, when the first Ghostbusters film came out. And I was all over it. Why?
Yeah.
Because you know, between Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, and Sigourney Weaver, that was a big draw for a lot of people. I never mind the film happened to be fucking hilarious on top of it. But every time you get it, but you actually see both ends of Sigourney Weaver at that point. In Alien, she was a firm character in a more or less egalitarian situation that just happened to be female.
Yeah.
Ripley in and of herself was a very strong character that just happened to not have a dick.
Yeah.
Everybody was okay with that. That's 1978.
She was also human. She had to struggle with everything.
Yeah.
A real human. She wasn't handed victory. She wasn't handed the ability. She wasn't given her participation award. She fought that alien. And then when they came to the second one, she overcame her desire to get off that planet to go rescue that girl, that little girl.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot she had to do. I actually like the extended cut of Alien, the director's cut of Aliens, much better than I liked the original. There was some really interesting scenes that we didn't see originally. And no, Captain Marvel isn't the first. She isn't even 51st. Nope. She isn't even 151st.
Even the lame first Supergirl movie, she did. She had a little more depth. I mean, it wasn't that great. The story was a little bit crap, but considering what I've seen of late, like from the last Ghostbuster movie, even the first Supergirl movie did good. She did better than that.
Yeah, well, and here's the fun part. This is the part that everybody doesn't seem to want to get, is that we have had strong female characters, strong female leads, going back into antiquity, into relative antiquity. For as long as there have been movies, there have been women that have asserted themselves. There have been women whose roles, they just happen to be female. Okay, Sigourney Weaver was nowhere near the first, but she was one of the most. But she is still remembered today. But again, all the female characters that you're looking at over the course of 100 and some years, or 100 and almost 30 years of filmmaking, all the characters in every circumstance. Every single circumstance were products of the era that they existed in, that the actresses themselves existed in. You can't just judge things this way. You can't just judge things by the standards under which people seem to be facing Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel is Captain Marvel is amoebic dysentery and probably still being offensive to amoebic dysentery. Yeah. Okay.
And you know what? Even if you want, just to add to your point, even if you want to add in, you know, the modern era stuff, like this, you know, this decade or even this last 4 years, people have been screaming that they wanted a Black Widow movie for how long?
God, almost since the beginning. Yeah.
So to add to your point, to say that we just don't like female characters anymore,
that's bullshit. People have been screaming for a Black Widow movie. They so want Scarlett Johansson to get her own freaking movie, and everybody loves this thought. What do we get? We get Carol Danvers, as described by Brie Larson, and apparently there's no real plot. I mean, it's just there. Well, if that, you know, Honor Harrington. Yes, that is there's a character from literature that is actually a very good one. And in fact, in some places, I'm going to disagree with you just a little bit here, Mangun. Honor Harrington, in some positions, puts Captain Kirk to shame. In others, it goes kind of the other way. But Honor Harrington is a character in and of herself. She exists as makes sense in everything she touches. If you want to go to literature, there's even more of these. I mean, go back to McCaffrey's Dragon Riders of Pern, the character of Lessa. Brilliant character. Love that character. There were a number of these that were just there, and they were absolutely adorable. And these are the characters you want that give you weird fun dreams at night because they're just so well done. I don't think anybody's going to think these things. Anybody that hasn't been ingesting, a ton of soy a day for the last 50 years is going to want any part of Carol Danvers as portrayed by Brie Larson and as represented by the Walt Disney Company. It's just wrong. The Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's like, oh God, and then even then, some of the male characters have just gone retarded. The one you would expect to be retarded was actually one of the best of them, and that was Deadpool. Anybody remember that first Deadpool movie?
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
That shit ruled. Hey Kendra, how you doing? Yeah, Mom is currently being the strong female character and taking a firm hand on the micro squirrel.
Hey, my mom was the ultimate gamer girl. I mean, she got the rest of me and my siblings into video games.
Cool. You go.
And in fact, she was so much a gamer girl that she ended up fixing the consoles, the early consoles. The SNES, nice. The NES, the SNES, the Genesis, even the PlayStation. You name it.
Oh God, it's 9 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. Oh, I got to see that. Drop me a note on that, Richard, on Discord if you would please, because I really do want to get a good look at that. That would be fucking brilliant. NIS America are having a presentation. It means they probably have some fun stuff to talk about. Maybe they'll do the semi-official announcements of like Cold Steel 4 or some shit. That'll be fun. I mean, we could even go into video games, and we have some really strange female protagonists in their own games that have their own strengths. The Neptunia series, Nep is one of the weirdest critters ever. But when the chips are down, she gets the freaking job done. Oh, please do, Richard. I would love that. Okay. So, unfortunately, that looks like...
I should quickly mention if anybody's interest, Tim Pool and Joe Rogan had a discussion with Twitter CEOs and trust and safety.
Yeah, it's the CEO who was apparently shocked and dumbfounded about some of the rules, and the lawyer who was saying, and the lawyer, the lead of the trust and safety team over there, who just floored the poor guy several times, and then who was very upset when Tim Pool raked her ass over the freaking coals and then went after, and then when he was done with her, he went after freaking Jack. Because, frankly, the first time Joe talked to... Joe openly admitted that he was not as well educated on it as maybe he wanted to, on the subject, as maybe he should have wanted to be. And that's not always a bad thing, but it wasn't what I would call great.
Yeah. You know, I still defend Joe. He can run his podcast however he wants. Like some people
true, complain. But he really needed, the first time he had Jack on, he really should have gone after him a bit harder than he did. But
he didn't have to.
But he didn't, and in order to rectify that, he brought Jack back and then dragged Tim in. Because Tim knows.
I know. That was amusing, Tim's story on that, you know, when Tim told the story about how he got hooked into that, and that was kind of amusing.
You know what? I'm not going to disagree with that, Opal. I'm really not. Anyway, you know what? We've gone way off in left field. Let's get back to the games, shall we?
Yep, let's get to the games.
All right, so, Mr. Opal Dragon, you are actually going to be running the show for a couple of minutes. Because
just this one, this is the one I'm most familiar with.
Okay, first off, that needs to go bye-bye, because that's not the source I need. Media file. And now I have to figure... No, I don't want that. I want this. There's an MP4 file running around on my desktop now. And it's one that I grabbed from... There it is. I found it. All right. Go ahead and open that up for you. This is Fall of Light, Darkest Edition. And I'm going to turn the audio down on this so that you guys can all hear Opal. Because Opal actually needs to be... Because Opal's gets to talk about this now. So what'd you think of it, Mr. Opal Dragon?
We're going to be stuck with a bit of story here because I was testing out my setup and I forgot to do a second recording where I trimmed out the story. But so I'll let it play for the story. Not a bad story though.
Well, you can talk now. You can talk at this point because they pretty much won't be able to hear much of anything that's going on there. Where Twisted Souls.
Well, it was a standard story. I mean, it wasn't too badly written, but, you know, there's only certain games I play for the story.
With her came warmth and order. The soul ceased to scream. I'll turn it back up a little bit, yeesh.
Yeah, because it's got a lot of audio.
Thanks to her, 13 eras of peace and safety, and the world thrived and blossomed.
Wouldn't that just be one really long era? That's kind of what I would think there. 13 eras? I don't know.
Yeah. That's what I said. It's a mediocre story.
And his name was Pain.
Ooh, Pain the Sorcerer. Wow.
Yeah. Not very creative.
Yeah, the level of creativity here doesn't seem to be all that grand.
Yeah. No, that's why if I had a chance, if I would have remembered to redo it, I would have trimmed out the story.
Apparently this is the not Dark Souls game.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing that makes this, I'll say this, the only thing that makes this difficult is the fact that you can't reconfigure the controls.
Oh. Could...
At least I never found a way to. If I missed it, I missed it. And, I mean, it's not, it's actually, it's a cute little game, you know, I mean, you gotta drag this, glowing character around.
I never paid attention to
whether she had a name. I never paid attention to
her name is Aether, apparently.
Aether, okay, yeah.
At least that's what it said. Yeah, this is actually set up a lot like Dark. An Indigo. Oh, gods. Really? We're going back with the whole... Oh, gods, no. Really? Indigo Child?
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I'll give the tutorial bonuses. Like at least it makes things clear about where it wants you to go, so you can learn how to do stuff.
Right. I'm getting kind of the Dark Souls vibe out of this, except with the Diablo point of view.
Yeah, it's got the Diablo point of view.
Megan says, Kane and I are old friends. I own a fort.
The combat is a little tricky with the way they have it set up. So as I said, I think the majority of the difficulty is in where they positioned everything.
Yeah. Okay, so you go roll.
If you could remap stuff, this game would be a lot easier.
Or if you can get the controls mapped out in your head.
Yeah. Well, it's just when you have to hit a combination of buttons, it was.
Hey, Biggles! Welcome to the stream.
Oh, Biggles is here.
Yay,
we can break out the toys.
Come little Biggles, bring forth the comfy couch.
Oh.
Ooh, a runic circle. It will bring you back to this exact point. Okay.
Yeah.
Alcohol. Hey.
Nightbot's a little slow today. There we go. Might want to count those glasses. Maybe Nightbot's been into a few of them.
No, I think we've got the right number, but it's a bar anyway. Ooh, survivors.
Yeah.
So what did you think of his game overall?
Actually, it wasn't that bad. It was kind of amusing. If I had more skill, I probably would have enjoyed it a whole lot more.
Yeah. And yes, Dreki, we've got a combination of Dark Souls, Diablo, and Ico.
Yeah.
Which...
Of course, this also has a tad bit of escort, because you have to drag the... whatever.
Yeah, see, that's the problem I'm having with it at the moment, is that it seems like the entire game is one huge escort quest. And the last time I played a game like that was on the PlayStation 3, it was called Amy. And if you got too far from the little bitch, you'd start getting all sick, and the zombies would start ignoring you. And you get too far away though for too long, and you're just dead. And what's up with that? And it's like, oh, it's a lantern, not a flash. It looked like the guy was carrying a freaking flashlight for a second. I was going.
Yeah, I know, but it's actually a lantern.
I was about to throw a fit. It's actually a hooded lantern.
Yeah.
Hey, Jackie's got a question for you there.
Okay.
Opal, have you ever actually played Ico?
No.
This place is consecrated, which is probably safe for about 30 seconds.
Yeah.
You kneel down.
I think this is getting close to the part where I had to start learning. No, I got the shield. Oh yeah, this is where I got the sword. I was learning to do combat. I immediately start going through all the buttons to try and figure out what everything does, and I start looking for combinations right away.
Of course you do. And it's the right stick to lock a target, but you don't see the target yet.
That's the target locking. Oh, that was the worst position. It was just. I mean, maybe if you got the right control.
It
might be a little easier.
Actually, that was another one that did that. Was Resident Evil 4. You had to dump the president's daughter in the nearest freaking garbage can every time a zombie showed up. For the longest time, I was actually looking forward to The Last Guardian. Now I want Persona Q2, New Cinema Labyrinth, and Trails of Cold Steel 3. Because fuck the Last Guardian. They want way too much money for it. It's only on the PlayStation 4. Apparently the controls are merely suggestions. We're just going to suggest to the game that we want to do that. He's twiddling your thumbs and going, hey, come on, come on, game, we want to do this? Nah, you don't need to do that. Fall to your death.
Now you get to see how bad of a combat person I am. I for some weird reason like to take it.
It looked like you were about to take it, and not in a good way.
No.
Oh, you did.
No.
Wow, you died.
Yeah.
You looks like you died in a very bad way. Oh, yes, you did. You died.
This is where because I so thought I'd be redoing this some other time, but my own forgetfulness and miscommunication.
All right, time to kill that and go back to the regular screen. Well, the next game up, of course, is sadly going to be one that I cannot give you guys footage of. The Thor Special Edition attempts to score. Yes, it does. Unfortunately, I don't have that kind of money. I'm going to have to go get the regular edition. It was, damn it! I hate it when that happens. I don't have.
I know.
The Thor Special Edition would have been absolutely brilliant. I don't know where I'm going to be able to get a copy, and even if I can, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get the money together between now and November to actually pull it off. Between the two games I'm looking at, I still need the better part of $80. It's like $70, $80 that I still need.
There.
All right. For our next abomination, I'm at least gonna put up the. I did not. Unfortunately for folks, I did not actually get a. I did not take any footage of this game, so the only thing I'm really going to be able to show you all is the title screen. I mean, and this is another one of those manga gamer games that I can't really stream. I can't stream very much of because reasons.
Yeah.
And now I just got myself demonetized.
I was just gonna say, you can't even do the front screen.
Yeah, I can't. No, I'm gonna have to not do that game at all. Believe I'm not gonna have it.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Crap. Okay, back. Quit. Okay, I should give you guys an idea of what this game consists of.
Please don't flag this channel. Please don't.
Well, I doubt I'm going to get a community strike for it because I didn't realize that, again, I should have been paying more attention. It's been a while since I looked at the game, and that is kind of unfortunate. But really, it's a first-person dungeon crawler, which is not a bad. I know I tried and I failed. Manga Gamer sends me their games on a regular basis. They get a new game up. They say, hey, come check this out. I go check it out. I'm like, I can't stream that, guys, but I can still talk about it. Anyway, Spirited Master of Retarnia, first-person dungeon crawler. I know you put a little bit into it. They actually spent quite a bit of time initially on the story, and they go to a lot of trouble to in the early going to really push the first parts of the hero's journey. I tried and I failed. Yes, I failed. I failed so badly. Actually, you know what? I think I might be able to pull some of this off. Give me a second. I gotta see where the load is. Let me find out where my last save is. So, load game. There we go.
Just don't share the screen and then find it and then get in there and then share.
Unfortunately, the auto is actually on. Okay, so here is actually a chunk of cave, and wow, that is dark as fuck.
Yeah.
It's like I said, a first-person dungeon crawler, and this is the inside of a cave. Let me get out of the cave, and I can show you something.
I would probably enjoy this because this reminds me of a combination of Shining in the Darkness and what's that game? Stone Keep.
It's
the first one, not the second one. The first one.
Now we play as a little creature here in the front middle called Leonard, and he does not have a picture. We don't even really know much. We really don't even know all that much about him, at least in terms of his face. He doesn't even have one. Well, I try to avoid as much female anatomy as humanly possible. It seems like male anatomy I can get away with that people get away with a lot of the time. Okay, and here's a little combat sequence. So it's some of this really isn't 100% brilliant. There's some stuff that you're gonna. How do we call that? In terms of the RPG elements, it's bog standard. It has a few issues with the way the controls actually function. Keep your mouse hand free because you will need it in the fights. But there are two circumstances in which you can actually get a scene.
So what you're saying is, if you're left-handed, then you got to learn to be right-handed. If you're right-handed, you got to learn to be left-handed.
Some of this stuff, a lot of this can be done with the arrow keys and stuff. But the combat system bugs the hell out of me, simply because selecting out of these menus cannot be done with the arrow keys.
Yeah,
it just can't be done. There's not a thing. Okay, that's a waypoint. We're not going back to town. We're just gonna. Actually, you know what? Let's not be a complete moron here. We can do this. Box Center, no worries. We put nudity in. That's all right, guys. Honestly, the way some of these things go together, I would not be surprised if it did in fact sell. If it does in fact sell for exactly that reason. There are two circumstances in which you can get scenes. One is if you lose to one of the local bosses. That's definitely guaranteed to be a scene, and those are actually your non-standard game overs. Funnily enough, you can also, depending on how you react to characters, or to the female characters that are with you, while you're running around in dungeons and stuff, you can actually improve your relationship with them. Unfortunately, it tends to get a little on the repetitive side. X just tripped. We gotta do we want to catch her, or are we just gonna move, or are we just going to ignore it? Well, I don't like that one this playthrough, so we're going to ignore it and then watch them fall on their faces. You know. But when the game starts, our buddy Leonard here is working at the smithy.
Yeah.
Cheesecake molestation. Game like this does not need to sell hundreds of thousands of copies to make a profit. You're probably right. And in fact, the game itself isn't all that expensive. It's less than if memory serves, it's less than $20. Lunasoft did this a while back, and yeah, it's $15. $15 game. So is it brilliant? Nah, not really. Is it actually going to do the job? By the way, if you guys go hunt this one down, I did in fact put a complete review up here. And of course, the lead for this one was the Spirit Master of Retarnia. First-person dungeon crawler, sex scenes, both consensual and not, and the usual grindiness that goes with it. Not much of a problem, actually. It does get a little tropey in some of the party members, but oh, and Queen Sylvia, who is actually in charge of this of Retarnia, that girl is just wow. Honestly, she's probably the best realized character in the game, and you want to cringe. You want to cringe watching this all go on. Seriously.
Well, maybe if they do a sequel, maybe they'll improve the dating sim part of it.
Well, I actually don't believe that Lunasoft made a second game.
Well, maybe when they make a second. Maybe
I don't know that they're going to. This game's actually, the game itself is actually pretty old, and it's fairly simplistic even by Lunasoft standards. So you gotta, you know what? Honestly, really, what I probably should do. Let me just do this. You can get a good look at the. There is a link to the review that I filed on it. Well, yeah, Manga Gamer sent me this one out of the blue back in December, and I said, well, okay, sure, why the hell not? I'll have a look. I didn't go into, I didn't get, things didn't go I didn't go in expecting very much. Mm-hmm. I went on to, I went through, I played, I said, okay, it's a game. It works for what it is. I'm not exactly happy about the combat controls because you can't use your arrow keys, or you can't use the keyboard to do that. You've got to use the mouse to select those things. And that was actually my big complaint about the game. I mean, even the ecchi scenes were at least fairly well realized, and they served the purpose that they were intended to. The other thing is you don't have to go through and lose all the boss battles once to be able to get the scenes in the gallery. You can do that by just beating the boss. So you're not going to get punished for not losing. You can go back and see it. Nobody cares.
Oh.
There was one thing and actually going back to that complaint, there were a few things that was one of the few things. The menu system is just, and I state here in the review, I'm accustomed to games like this to be able to use the primary movement controls to navigate menus and such. Most such games do this, no matter how primitive. Even the original Bard's Tale, yes, the C64 edition, gave the option keyboard controls. Okay, you know what? Really, I wasn't being very fair there. It's not entirely fair. It's not like the C64 even had a mouse, which is what you really will wind up using. Yeah, Draki, it isn't. That is in fact correct. However, if I use that word, people tend to take notice, and then I have problems almost instantly.
Yeah.
So I don't want to go there if I don't want to use that specific word unless I have absolutely no choice. It is in fact one of those games. It's just not to the degree of a great many others. The scenes themselves are very few. The scenes themselves are actually very few and far between. There are There are 4 scenes for each girl, or 5 scenes for each girl, and then 1 for every boss. The ones for every boss are non-consensual. It's because you lost, and the characters in question are going to be molested and then torn apart. For the as far as that goes, it's actually the thing that goes on before they die. Because you're down, you're not going to be able to help them in any way, shape, or form.
Well, so in that case, probably glad that game is a lowbrow game. or low on the radar, because a game like that sounds like if certain people got wind of it.
Well, fortunately for the overwhelming majority of people, those people don't watch my channel.
Yeah, thank goodness.
Well, a lot of those people remember how this channel started. They don't watch it because of it.
Yep.
All right. So there is a link in the chat. I will put a link to this review in the. I will put a link to the review in the description later. I didn't want to do that up front, so it was so that was actually going to be a thing. Yes, I did get it for free. Yes, I had bad things to say about it, because once again, you can give me access to the game for free, and it doesn't mean I'm gonna like it. Lots of them I do.
Yeah.
I don't always like the games that I get sent. This one, yeah, $15, I'm willing to forget. For a $15 ask, I'm willing to give it quite a bit more leeway than I would a $60 game. And that's really what it came down to.
Yeah. But if they fix the control schemes,
if you can give me the ability to run this thing off nothing more than the keyboard, I would love you forever. That's not going to happen. And Manga Gamer is just the Western publisher. They're the ones that did the localization. But, kind of a thing. We've actually got a whole bunch more of these, by the way. I know you played a little bit of it, Opal. I've been kind of rambling on here. What did you think?
No, I just barely got into it, you know. Miscommunication on things. I would have gotten into it more, because I like games that kind of remind me of Shining in the Dark or Stone Keep, or or Lands of Lore, those types of games where you got that.
That's just it. The Shining, the RPG Shining series was freaking brilliant. Shining in the Darkness, Shining the Holy Ark. I loved those games. And in fact, one of these days, and I'm not sure which day this is going to be, I'm actually going to get the Saturn working properly on the Elgato, and we're going to play that game. We're going to play Shining the Holy Ark for a while.
Oh, that'd be cool.
It's tough as freaking nails. It is absolutely nasty. The first part of the game is absolutely nasty. But you know what? After a while, it gets a little easier as you get up in levels, especially if you grind the shit out of the first dungeon. But that first dungeon is just evil.
Yeah,
just stuck down a mine.
It's been ages. I forgot it. I've forgotten most of it. So, if I pulled out my Saturn right now, it'd be like playing it for the first time. I've forgotten so much. I just remember tiny clips here and there. It's been so long.
But yeah, if you like games like Etrian Odyssey or Shining in the Darkness, or even or more recently you get Make-You or Dungeon Travelers 2, you'll probably like these games. You'll probably like it. And again, for the asking price, what the hell? All right, that's going to be it. I think that's going to be it for that one. I think everybody's had quite enough of it. We've had our opportunity to say fun things about it, and now I need to find our next game, which sadly I was going to get footage on and just did not, and I didn't find time, and that upsets me because I should have been able to. Speaking of Etrian Odyssey. Yeah, I've been hearing we're going to get Etrian Odyssey 5 at some point in the near future. I think it's either 5 or 6, and I forget which. But the Persona Q series, the little spin-off series there, is very strongly influenced by Etrian Odyssey. Really? Linebeck is going to do a picture-by-picture long play with you being one of the primary characters. That ought to be fun. Okay. let me know when he's done. We'll go and have a look. All right. So for our next abomination, we have a game that I did not get to play, that I did not get to take footage of, and I really wish I had. Beep. Oh well. This is tech support error unknown, and it's much what it sounds like. Spectrum OS quick loads. You know what? Would I like to enable swearing in the game? Absolutely. Ooh. You can have all the swearings you want. Delete a profile, the settings for Spectrum OS, some credits, and you can shut it all down. Alright, so let's go to, not that, let's go here, and turn that off so I can actually get to bits of screen. The thing I like about, there's already one thing I like about this, and it is that we seem to actually have some capacity to do some things. As in ass hard. Oh God. That would be, I think that would actually be fun. Alright. Delete a profile. We don't have any profiles. Okay. Create a new profile. Okay. There we go. And I think we're going to go with, let's go teal. I'm good with teal. Oh, nope, here we go. Other, male, female, and other. Well, okay. Let's go with the intern difficulty, because I don't know exactly how they're going to do this.
But isn't it croc, a squirrel, another gender?
If you look at my Twitter account, you discover that yes, it is theoretically. See McDeadman password login. Okay. February the 25th. Ooh. Click here first and check your emails. Emails. Out mail. Okay. Connect with the world. No. Okay. Oh. Respond to the email. Okay, fine. Reply. Okay. Right. Send. In the box? Hey, news. Okay. Nope, we don't want to do that. We don't care. Alright. New email. Okay. Did we get another email? Click on the file name at the top to install the software. Wow, we get to install software too. Ooh. Oh, and she's going to be the first one. Alright, and there's a wiki in Net Traveler. Wow. I'm so amused. Let's minimize that. Net Traveler. NetTraveler.vineyard.co. Okay. Wait, what? Regard. Let's see. No, that's not what I want. Click on the file name at the top to what? Where? Oh, there it is. Waiting, right. My name is Cockbite. Hi, Cockbite! Alright. In the chat menu. Sure. I'll take that. Tutorial, okay. Alright, so somebody's actually having fun with this. It kind of seems like it, Dracky. Well, as long as... Yeah, I don't know. Hey!
Oh,
wow.
cool.
Hey.
Oh, that's a cool one.
Thank you, Chandra, for the $10 donation and another 2,000 off my number of hit points available. Well, I only got another about 7K to go, and somebody else can be the stream boss for a while. And yes, as a matter of fact, I probably will do exactly that. Okay. Oopsie, tutorial. Okay. Hello, Cockfight.
This looks kind of cool, I have to say.
Can who provide us? Oh wow. Okay. I could probably do that. Hooray! Let's get started. So what's happening here? It fell out of the plumage. Wow. And what's it doing? It fell down, it went boom, and now you can't find the damn thing. Fine, whatever. Oh, there you go. Yeah, try it now. Go on now, try it now. Yeah, Soldier Boy is that cool. Sure. Oh dear, really? Okay, what does it do? Okay, so where the hell are you now? Okay. Can we go to the settings? Alright, fine. I'll use the freaking escalate. Service, escalate. Oh, now I'm ready for a real customer. Wow. To accelerate the process. All right. So, unfortunately, this game is probably going to give me nightmares. I worked tech support for a great many years, and let's just shut that down. No. Off and be gone. Be gone, poof, be gone. Okay. So that tells me just this thing is gonna give me freaking nightmares. I swear. This game will give me nightmares. I worked tech support for a long time.
Okay.
Unfortunately it was for Verizon Online DSL, mostly in New York and New Jersey. Or mostly for New York and New Jersey. So yeah, that's yeah, this kind of unfortunately at this point I don't actually have to talk to anybody, like actually speak at them, but all of the stuff would be this would be the kind of stuff that I would have to deal with. Ugh.
So basically what you're saying is that if there was a hell, there would be no torture in there to even compare to what you had to deal with between your bosses and the customers.
If hell was a video game, it would be exactly like this. Now, just so you guys have this fixed in your little brains, there's a free demo of this game that you can go check out. And the game itself, if you want to play it, will run you $10 US.
That's not bad.
Or about or about 13 loonies if one happens to be in Kazakhstan. Which could be somewhat better than the about 40 reais it would be in Brazil.
I still have to finish that Orwell game that I got for free.
Actually, Orwell's a lot like it. This game actually is a lot like Orwell, except that Orwell itself is different by its nature. This is really a tech support simulator, and for what it's worth, it seems pretty realistic. It's way more realistic than I really want to think about now. Of course, it's not. The situation here isn't exact, but it's enough. It's analogous enough to give me all kinds. Give me that creepy pasta vibe. So. Okay, Richard. Video game hell, where all games are live services from EA or Activision. You forgot one, sir. You forgot Ubi shit. Or no, it's not Ubi shit. It's Ubi Limp.
Ubi Limp. Yep.
There's electric assholes. Activision is enough of an insult all to itself. But yeah, don't forget Ubi Limp. Actually, I think Activision would be more like Lazy Blind. Yeah. Quite frankly, they don't seem to have a freaking clue. I love the way that those companies, the companies we're talking about, Activision and Electronic Arts and some of these others, report records in terms of income, and then lay off a substantial portion of their staff. I want to know how that works. Yes, as a matter of fact, I can feel the Jim Sterling sarcasm in the message. I just don't think you went quite far enough, sir. You could have gone a little further on that. All right. Opal, while you're giving your thoughts, I'm going to duck out for about 3 minutes and just talk to the folks for a minute.
Okay, I'll do my best.
We still got 2 games, guys.
Put on the spot. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, 2 more games to go. So
2 more games.
2 more games. Go do your thing. Yeah, I don't mind games like that. Like, those are kind of cool. I'll definitely have to give that one a shot. No. Oh, let's answer the chat here. I think the thing that main gun there. I think the thing that happened is it's what happens to a lot of companies. They start out good, and then they get up there, and I don't know if it's just the CEOs just either changing who's running the show, or whether the CEOs just get lazy and they stop caring and they just want the dollar bills to roll in. It's always hard to say. Well, actually, though, EA, let's face it, EA had problems long ago. They were just better at hiding it back in, say the 90s. You know, they were a lot better at hiding it. But if you've listened, I've listened to quite a few interviews and from various people who've worked in the industry, and the feeling I get is that EA was, it was pretty bad back then. A lot of companies just didn't realize what level of trap they were getting into. But I don't know much about Activision. I've only heard of Activision's discussing, from what people say, it's the evolution started long ago. the way they acquired things, the things that they demanded, and the failures for promise. Promises that they would fulfill to the companies that they acquired, or the devs that they acquired. A lot of people had complaints about that. It wasn't until they discovered microtransactions that all the nastiness that was EA came to the forefront. Like, well, rather than screwing devs, how about we screw the player base, directly, and I think that's the big thing with EA.
I was talking about the game, Mr. Opal Dragon, but okay, we'll take that too.
Well, I was responding to the chat, so.
Oh. Yeah, Bullfrog, rest in peace.
Yeah, EA skeletonized a lot of dev teams. The thing was, we just didn't see it as gamers. We just didn't get to see how bad EA was prior to them discovering the magic genie that was microtransactions.
Well, that's just it. I remember Electronic Arts when they were good. And most of the older gamers amongst us, for example, Richard here, he's probably old enough to remember the time when Electronic Arts was about 50 people total, and they helped Interplay produce, or they were actually directly involved in the development of the original Bard's Tale games.
Just from a few interviews, a few dev teams had complained about, the things that EA did, the level of ownership that they demanded, and the lack that I'm trying to think of the word, where they don't quite give out what they promise.
Yeah, well, and that's a completely different issue.
Yeah,
the same, and I disagree with Richard here when he said that Electronic Arts is very different from EA. That Electronic Arts evolved into this monster. That's not true, actually. The first part of that is very true. What was originally Electronic Arts became EA, but I don't see it as an evolution. I see it as a devolution. The bigger they got, the more bloated they got, and that forced a devolution into this big freaking writhing massive vial. Deluxe art. I think it was Deluxe Paint, Richard. I'm not sure. The A500 edition of most games was actually pretty good. I actually preferred the 1200. Or no, it was the 2000 that I liked a lot. The Amiga 2000. That was a really nice little system. I loved it to pieces. But I think it was in fact Deluxe Paint. Of course, it actually helped the Amiga that it had a functioning operating system to begin with. For weird shit like disk access and and more usefulness. So yeah, I mean there was a lot you could do with the Commodore machines. Oh my god, I wish I had some of them back. There were a lot of them. I wish I had them back.
I actually had a friend who had an Amiga, and I was pretty impressed with it. That's why when a lot of people tell me "Oh, the Mac was the first to do this," I'm like, no.
It's like I had someone try to tell me that the PC did a disk operating system long before any other type of machine. That's a lie.
No. That's a lie.
That was not only a lie, it was a hilarious lie, because to be honest with you, it was the Atari 48800 series that did that. The Atari 800 had its own. The Atari 800 series had its own. The 800/800 XL had just a brilliant setup for operating system. I mean, admittedly, it wasn't windowed, but it did its job very, very, very well. Do you have two of the old Commodores somewhere? I would really love to get my hands on another one of those. I grew up mostly between the Atari systems and the old Atari computers and the Commodore computers. But the Apple II was another one that preceded the actual PC as we would know it today, by a number of years as well. But Atari the Atari setups actually beat just about everybody else in the market. The idea of a home computer, an actual home computer you could sit down and type on, was just this fantastic thing. But nobody thought it was going to sell. And then the Atari hit the market, and people were snapping them up. The home computer market went batshit, just as they were starting to approach things like E.T. and Pac-Man for the A2600. Well, okay, Richard, to be honest with you, yeah, I can imagine why you would use the introduction to Amiga-DOS Disk, especially at the age of 10. A, you probably wouldn't have thought about it all that much, and B, that shit was actually quite helpful. I learned the Atari DOS setup inside out inside of about 3 weeks. To the point where I could actually create little batch files that would run things in an order. The Atari 800 was another. The Atari 800 was another one of those where you could actually use a graphics command and do text games very quickly. It was not hard to do in any way. In fact, after a while, I even managed to get. I think I was about 13, 14 years old. The school I was at over in Europe, I was in Germany. I was at one of the high schools there. They were in dire need of math testing programs for the little bitty ones, or at the elementary level. So what did I do? I actually used the school's machines. I made some simple single-digit addition, subtraction, multiplication, division stuff. It was 4 programs. And then I made a 5th program that would load one of the others. And I put it all on a disk, and I gave it over to the school, and they took it to the elementary school. They tested the shit out at up to about the 4th grade level, and it went swimmingly. They loved it.
Oh, cool.
Oh yeah, the TI-99 4A. That was a machine that was absolutely brilliant in a great many ways. It was one of the very first where you could almost infinitely expand the damn things. You could put hard drives on them. You could put this and that in printers and all sorts of shit. And all you would get is just this big, long beast from left to right. You had the computer here. You had the core computer here, and you had stuff. Commodores were not our brick house. Yeah, I got it. But once again, this is not getting us through the next one. This is not getting us to our next game. And
let's get on to the next game.
I need to at least get through this one thing here. We have a copy of the closed beta for Warhammer Chaosbane, and we have at the moment we have streaming rights. We were told I was told in no uncertain terms that streaming was a thing we could do. I could do all of it I wanted. So we're at least going to have a look. All right. This is actually a beta. Be aware, so it's not going to be so up front it will not exactly be what everyone would think of as brilliant. VSync window mode. Shadows.
I just look at stuff like that the same way I'm looking at the latest edition of Subnautica, Sub-Zero.
Yeah.
It's just a beta, yeah. And I just play it periodically to see how it develops.
Well, Warhammer Chaosbane is not actually due for release until like June or July. This is a closed beta, and there will be a public beta, I think, in a few weeks. But this weekend, the closed beta was for this weekend. Here we go, Big Ben. A development team I haven't heard much about, and Echo Software, or Echo, or something like that. Echo Games Workshop. Popcorn FX, real-time particle FX. Okay, so they use that. Ooh, loading. Your grandma would let you in. Yeah, I played that with my mom like twice. And the first time she let me win while I got my head in the game. And the next time around it didn't go so well for her. And she stopped wanting to play. Like, period.
Aw. Are you saying you would beat your grandma?
No, I whooped my mom. I whooped her the second time. I won the first time. She let me win the first time, and I know she did, by a score of like 6-5. And then the next time around, we played again immediately after that, and the game wound up being 10-1. And she was pissed.
Oh.
And I was like 4 or 5 years old at the time. I think I was 4.
Oh.
And she's in her early 20s. Ah! But no, the video game crash was almost as much Pac-Man's fault on the Atari 2600 as it was ET's. Okay. They want to invite us to share comments and issues on their Facebook, on their Flickbook page. Well, okay. I have suspect that the PR rep is actually wandering around in here somewhere. I know I'm running a little later than. Okay, Chaosbane does require an internet connection at this point, but it will be. It will not have such a requirement for final release. That's a good thing, folks. For a beta, having an online requirement is probably not that bad a thing, because it actually enables you to collect data on how it all operates in real time. But not having it for the final release, because you pretty much got everything sorted out, that would be. I like that thought. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I don't mind stuff like that as long as people are being transparent.
And apparently, this is the transparency thing. Especially when they're going to take it out at the end. I like that thought.
Yeah.
I will assume for 30 seconds that an active multiplayer setup would be at least possible. All right, so let's see. Change the difficulty to I don't wanna. We'll take that and change the hero, because we've got We actually only have available, as last I checked this, last I looked at this, we only had availability for 2. Only 2 of the characters were actually available. That may have changed in the most recent update. We'll find out in a minute. Okay, so you can start with the Imperial Soldier. We already know what that guy looks like. Here is the High Elf Magey thing. These 2 I know work. There is a Slayer, which I don't think works now. Can I create it? Nope. Contact currently locked. And the Wood Elf Scout, which is the one I really want to get a good look at, but she's also locked, at least for now. So let's go ahead and go back.
There was a time when an emperor ruled in Nuln, and the empire was at peace. But that was long before you were born. Soldiering is the only life you've ever known. Your father was a swordsman in service to the Elector Count of Ragland. By the time you were 15, he was dead, and his sword and armor passed to you.
Ooh.
You've lost count of the number of battles you fought. Some were victories, others defeats.
It is not part of Vermintide, but it does actually follow all. But it's the same edition of War. It's the same Warhammer as Vermintide,
replacing men who'd fallen along the way.
This is
Then came the news of the Chaos invasion.
more of a
Panicked Racklanders spoke of the end of the world, and you feared they were right. With the Empire divided, who could stand against Kuhl and his horde? But then, a nobleman from the old imperial capital of Nuln stepped into the breach. His name was Magnus, and he called upon the warring Elector Counts to stand as one and drive back the Chaos Horde. You expected no one to listen, but this time was different. Magnus's message spread like wildfire across the Empire. Within weeks, you and your company were on the march, joining the growing army as it headed north. Not even a lifetime of battles could prepare you for the nightmare that waited at Kislev. Just when all seemed lost, Magnus and his knights launched a desperate charge against the Chaos Warlord and his bodyguards. Surrounded, you and your men held back the horde until Asavar Kuhl had fallen.
If I remember correctly, the last time I looked at it was more Diablo-esque.
Its last. By the time the battle was over, you were the only one left. Once the dead were buried, you accepted Magnus's invitation to join his retinue and return with him to Nuln. After the horrors you witnessed at Kislev, defending the Empire from its foes is the only battle worth fighting anymore.
All right. There's going to be the answer to your question, Mr. Ecologist.
It is a night made for witchery and evil deeds, and across the city, guardsmen clutch their weapons tightly and count the hours until the dawn. Sleep is hard to come by on a night such as this. The air is tense, and memories of the battle at Kislev leave you restless and on edge.
Now this is a story.
Suddenly, a peal of thunder shatters the stillness, followed by a howling wind that shakes the tower to its foundations. Foul magic curdles the air, and screams echo in the courtyard outside. The tower is under attack.
Uh-oh. That doesn't sound like a good day.
Sounds like trouble in the courtyard. I'd better take a look.
This is the prologue. Welcome to the prologue. Left clicky to move.
Chaos forces are storming the tower. I've got to get to Magnus.
Wherever the hell that is, wherever the hell he is.
How are the controls on it?
Hover over an enemy and left click to attack. Yep, pretty much. We got the we definitely got the whole Diablo thing going on here. Definitely got the whole
point and click.
Yeah, pretty much pointy clicky, move around and kill all the things.
That's not bad.
And this guy steps on dicks pretty well. All right. Hit the potion thingy for
I mean, it'll come down to character development, you know.
It will. A lot of this will come down to character development, but it's very much. It seems to be a whole lot of. It's the same sorts of things. Speak to which soldier? Oh, that soldier. Okay, we click on the soldier.
Thanks, Sigmar, you're here. There's monsters everywhere. The tower's being overrun.
Well, looks like we're going to be running up this.
Stand fast, soldier. They're here for Magnus. Where is he?
Upstairs in the throne room. There's armor in a chest by the stairs. Take whatever you need, but hurry.
Okay, we put the stuff on. Perfect. We're all set. Okay, we can bless an item apparently. Okay, turn that part off. Murder all the enemies. Let's murder some enemies. Because enemies being murdered is a good thing. We should murder the enemies. Oh, level up. After we kill these.
Yeah.
These need to die first. All right.
Yeah, never level up. Never level up in the middle of a fight.
Yeah. Well, you know, you have to finish executing the people.
Yeah.
Of course. If I unequip this, okay, fine. Well done. Cutting, equipped on that. Whirling slash. Ooh. How many points do? Oh, I have 17 points available. So. And I have to be level 8 for that. I think I'm only like level 2. So I need to be level 3 for that. Level 9. Advanced skills. Okay. God skills. Oh, wow. And some passives. And. Okay. Collector skills. Cobbler Master. Oh, wow. We'll take that. I unlock that? No, of course not. Passive godling skills. We don't actually have. There's nothing here to unlock at the moment. You have to have that and level 8 there. Level 16 for that one. Holy crap. Okay, so we know what it looks like. We can't use anything here. I have to be level 3 before I can turn that one on. Banner of the Empire, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So that takes care of that part. S to turn it back off. You level up and you get some, and you get stops. We're going to keep going up, even though we can go down. Hi. Stop whining. Die. All right. Alright. Let's have a look at some architect ability. Ooh, counterattack. Ha! And of course now I can use that with spacebar. Like so. Okay. I hear crunchings. Someone has some munchings and crunchings.
Sorry, I was crunching on some apple chips.
Aha! I knew it wasn't
caramel flavor.
As you reach the throne room, the air seethes with foul magics.
Ooh.
The Chaos Sorceress stands before the throne, and Magnus, the savior of the Empire, is caught within her spell.
Boss!
There is only one thing left to do.
Boss fight.
Shouting a challenge, you charge across the room, ready to give your life for the future Emperor.
Yeah.
By the time you regain your senses, the battle is over. The sorceress is gone, leaving you and Magnus for dead. The shouts of angry men fill the throne room, but these are not guardsmen. They are witch hunters, the Empire's feared inquisitors, led by none other than the infamous Heinrich Voss. You are under arrest for the murder of the Emperor Magnus, Voss declares. You try to tell him about the sorceress, but Voss refuses to listen. I see no sorceress here, he shouts. Only you and a room full of dead men. Confess your crimes, Captain Dolan. Voss threatens. We will have the truth from you one way or another. After a week in the dungeons, you'll tell me everything I want to know.
Yep, per the
But
normal
before the
Inquisitor.
witch hunter could make good on his threat, a commanding voice filled the room. Stop this madness at once! This is the work of chaos, Teclis says. Sorcery of the darkest kind. Teclis examines Magnus in silence. He lives, thank the gods, the High Elf says at last. But he is in the grip of a powerful curse. It is only a matter of time before he succumbs. The fate of the Empire lies in our hands. We must find this sorceress and end the curse before it's too late. If Magnus dies, the Empire dies with him.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
That could be a bad week for somebody.
Yeah.
Inquisitorial efficiency. Absolutely. Now, I don't have the foggiest idea how much this game is going to run. I really don't. My guess would be that it's going to be fairly significant.
There are dark and terrible forces at work in the city, Captain. If we are to find the sorceress and defeat her, we must confront the dark cult that has taken root in Nuln and expose its secret master.
I hate to say it, but shouldn't this be a job for Voss and his gang of witch hunters?
You saw the mayhem the witch hunters left in their wake during the March of Kislev. Torture, executions, fire, and pillage. If they were unleashed on Nuln, it would lead to questions that we dare not answer. Not if we want the Empire to survive.
Okay, I fully get where Teclis is coming from. Yeah, at least he's not the shield hero.
All right. What do you want me to do?
The attack on the tower came from the sewers that stretch beneath the city. So long as the enemy controls the tunnels surrounding the tower, our position here is vulnerable.
So now we have the obligatory sewer level. Okay, fair.
Your first task is simple. Enter the tunnels and drive the cultists back from the tower. Kill everything in your path, but beware. There is no telling what foul things await you.
Are you
in the
coming too,
darkness.
Dickbeard? Or actually, Dick No Beard? Okay. Now here's the fun thing. We actually have... I have now switched from mouse and keyboard to controller. And I can't go down that way. Come on. Let me go down somehow. Oh, there we go. There's our spot to go down. Come on. Main quest, expedition, boss rush, main quest. Yeah, actually, to be perfectly honest, it's really not a whole lot of difference. Okay. There isn't a lot of difference, if I'm being honest.
Yep. Yep, there is a lot of difference these days. One carries more hatred than the other.
Actually, honestly, it's pretty much identical as far as I can tell. There's really not much. There's really not a difference at all for absolutely. Oh, we'll take that. Somebody else's.
Well, what one will initially make the local blacksmith want to punch you.
Yeah, I know, right? Imps, impy things, dead impy things, lots of dead impy things.
Who let the red rats loose? Bunch of them.
Who let the micro imps run around in here?
I didn't know kindergarten got out.
Okay, so potions on the left bumper. Now I have a serious question here, and the devs will probably not like me very much for this, but how is this not Diablo? It really is. It's Diablo all over again. And whilst that's not a bad thing, it's actually, the gameplay itself is looking pretty formulaic.
Yeah, I was going to say, the only question is, does it have any of the downfalls of Diablo 3?
Not time to talk about Diablo 3, I'm talking, it actually plays very much like the original Diablo.
Well, that might be a plus, because that was pretty good gameplay.
Yeah, the original Diablo was very good gameplay.
Yeah. Because it worked in Torchlight, as Dracologist pointed out in the chat. It worked in Torchlight quite well.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Grim Dawn was that, too. Yeah, I remember that.
Yes, it was. And nobody's complaining. Don't get me wrong. No, I'm not actually complaining about Diablo-esque gameplay, as long as it's done reasonably well. And this, while it's not what I call perfect, it's good enough to get where I want it, to get where we want to be.
Yeah, it'll come down to the selection of characters you get. You can play your style rather than just playing one way.
Okay, so we got some critters over there, and like Nurgling bastard. Quit that! I'm trying to sneak up on these other guys. Well, that wasn't happening.
I didn't know that they could hear me.
Well, you know, there are things you can use the flight stick for. And the game's actually going pretty well. For a beta, it's actually playing a lot better than I expected it to. I expected some major issues. But the game does appear to be more or less feature complete. We've still got 2 locked characters, which I'm not amused by. But you don't want to expect everything off the front. Who knows, maybe we just meet these characters along the way. Meet the dwarf and the wood elf along the way, and then they unlock. I don't know. I'd really like to see them. I'd like to see how they play out. Kill everything! Loads of little nurglings. Little nurglings, little nurglings.
I think Mangun's gonna shoot me at some point.
What?
I think Mangun's gonna shoot me at some point.
Oh, probably. All right, let's hit up the magic inventory thing and see if we've got better. Okay. All right.
Oh, that's kind of cool. I like that.
+8, +4. Oh wow, that actually works pretty well. We'll take that. It's a bigger, better sword. And that has much better defense. Okay, so a soldier's beret, and we just have the one shield. This is actually working pretty well. This is actually working pretty well from the upgrading standpoint. Let's see. What's the rest of the cards? A single nurgling running around here by himself. Himself, itself. What the hell ever? Brilliant. There's some bigger stuff over there. stop moving around, you little bastard. You're not supposed to move. I did not give you authorization to move around. Bitch. Ooh, Talbot Clan Soldier Gloves. We're gonna grab that real quick. Alright, come on. Now, there's actually been a Games Workshop has been very, very, very liberal about the Warhammer IP in the last decade or so, and so often the games that get made out of that have not done very well, or have not been very good games, which is even worse. This looks like a very solid use of the IP. Because they've actually taken some care with the story, or at least with the general lore. And I won't say it's perfect because it probably isn't. Jackie would be a better one here for me. All right, coffee gone. Oh man. X-Wing, free space. I wish I had a. Honestly, I wish I had a flight stick. I really want one.
Mm-hmm.
But
well, we were talking about. He was saying there, he can use a flight stick, but they don't make games for that anymore. And I was like, and I was teasing him. I says, "You're playing the wrong games."
Yeah, I know. Elite Dangerous would be absolutely freaking brilliant with a flight stick. I'd have. It would be. I'd have a lot better time of ED with a stick, but I would need something really full featured. And the one I'm looking for, it has little pedals, and the one I'm looking at is pedals and everything. And
you know what's annoying? The foot pedal is more expensive than a joystick.
What? Really?
Yeah, when I went to look, it's like my joystick was under 100, and most of the foot pedals I looked at, this is in Canadian dollars, they were over 100.
Wow.
From 120 to up. Most expensive being $200. Well, actually, no. The most expensive was 400, but No.
400 is absolutely retarded.
Yeah.
1 extra damage. I'm actually gonna lose a little bit of health in that, and the amount of block damage is not so great either.
Oh, I hear my cat singing the song of her people in the background.
Well, there's my wife's cat who doesn't actually sing the song. But she does the magic dance. She does the magic dance of "Where's my bloody food?"
Oh.
Where the hell's my food? Stupid human.
No, mine waits for me to eat, and then she turns into a vulture. Change species.
Transspecies cats. I don't think we're actually, honestly, I don't think we're gonna get to X4 today. We might have to do it on Tuesday. Do a whole stream on it. I want to watch you play. I want to play through your competence. Yeah. Alright, so we have now, these sewers are now clean. Well, relatively speaking. There's not a bunch of nerdlings down here.
Mm-hmm. But
wow.
In a way, I have to agree with Main Gun. They sadly don't make as many games that utilize the joystick.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, there are a bit out there, but not as much as there used to be.
Nim says, "Feed me, Seymour." Yeah.
Hey, Nim.
Yeah, that would be. How you doing, Nim? Yeah, that would be my wife's cat. Feed me, Seymour. Well, this is the tower. I'm not really sure where I am at the moment. Is this back to the sewers? I hope not.
You know what? This is a game I think I might end up putting on my wish list.
You know what? Honestly, the controls here are just dead freaking simple.
Yeah.
The controls are fine. There's nothing wrong with the controls at all.
That was the only limiting factor to Fall of Light, is that the game was made difficult purely through the controls.
And see, that was the problem. That was the big problem I had with Dark Souls. Drove me insane. It made it actually wanted me to have it actually wanted me to walk into a bunch of freaking into a pile of baby deer and come out with veins in my teeth. Yelling, kill, kill. Oh, Jesus. Where the hell is it?
Don't know.
Oh,
don't ask me. The chat distracts my attention too often.
Of course it does.
I've missed.
Okay, this must be the place I'm supposed to go. Oh, there he is.
Yeah.
It's done.
Oh, cool.
The tunnels surrounding the tower have been cleared. But there are signs that there are larger enemy camps deeper in the sewers.
I do not doubt it. The servants of Nurgle flourish in darkness and filth. Our battle against the cult has only just begun.
No shit, Sherlock.
You have done well, Captain. Return to me when you are ready for your next task.
Something tells me that next task is going to be a long time coming. 800 XP. Damn, that's actually kind of nice. And some gold. But I think I actually made more gold I actually think I made more gold doing things the way I had done it. See, Techless City's Chambers. Well, okay. Okay, we can actually go for an online game too, where we would have more than one critter. So, yeah, okay. I went at this in very easy mode, but it's really, I don't expect it to be a lot different. I don't expect it to be very much different. The gameplay itself will be very similar. It's just going to have more shit to deal with. So, what do you make of it? You're going to try and put this on the magic list of wishes? There, Michelle?
Yep, that I am. Definitely no. I mean, this looks like a nice.
I did all of this. I did all of this with an Xbone controller. The Xbone controller I got with the Xbox One. I bought this Xbox One to cover games, most of which I've already done. I haven't gotten a new Xbone game in a while. Although I think I do have some keys to turn in and I haven't done it yet. But ultimately, I have gotten way more use out of this controller than I ever will the Xbox One.
I use an Xbox controller for my computer too. I mean, I bought one specifically. I got one of those other brand ones because it looked cooler and I kind of like it. It's a little bit smaller, but I do kind of like it.
Well, the Xbox One controller I have is the one that I got with this unit. It's an actual Microsoft job. Which is fine, I don't care. Let's go ahead and I don't actually.
Mine was made by Hyperkin.
What?
That's the manufacturer of my Xbox controller, Hyperkin.
Okay, so this one's a stock Microsoft job. It just is. But it works quite well for what I'm doing. And what I do need to do is I do have Xbone keys for 3 games that I've already covered, and it's the 3 games I sent you on Switch here not too terribly long ago. Riddled Corpses EX. Trekkie wants to play Grip. We might actually do that. We might actually do that in a couple of days. So I know I've got, there's a stream on Tuesday, and we could probably race a bit there at the end of that. Because I actually have the game, although I think I need to reinstall it at this point. I did a massive like terabyte level purge of my installed Steam games yesterday, and I think last night. I think Grip may have been one of them. I'll have to go look. But so yeah, we're getting that. I'm getting that Diablo vibe. Definitely getting the Diablo vibe from the gameplay, but we're really getting kind of steeped in the original lore. So I don't have a lot to complain about, to be honest. It would have been nice to know we had full controller support earlier than we did, and maybe something that pointed that out would have been a little bit better, rather than me having to look in the lower left-hand corner and see, oh, wait a minute. That says A and B and X and what? Right and left bumper. Oh, I should grab the controller and see what that does. And the controller, funnily enough, the controller makes it easier than using the mouse. It makes it much easier.
Well, I added it to my wish list. I'm just gonna put it to where I'll rank it.
Yeah, you might want to rank it up. I would think to rank it up a ways, because quite frankly, I think this one's gonna go pretty well. It's been a while since I played a Diablo game, obviously, but I think this one is actually going to go on. All right, come on. And I need to go down here to quit the game. I think it would have been better if they left the little X button in the upper right-hand corner where it belongs. That would have been nice. I'm not saying that that's gonna that's actually a perfect solution. It would be nice. Let me just check the store page real quick, because I don't... Really? Seriously, game? Or seriously, Steam? There is not a store page for this. They don't actually even have the store page up.
Just hold on. What do you mean? I had no problem getting to it. I put Chaosbane in and it went.
Renegade Grip Champion. You know what? That might actually be something fun to do if we have enough players that can do that. That would be brilliant. I'd love that. I would love to do that, actually.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's Warhammer Chaosbane.
Yeah. What? You actually found it?
Yeah, I got the store page. I'll put the link in there.
Also note that if anybody wants to go about digging through their couch cushions for about another $20, I have my eyeballs currently on a copy of Jackbox Party Pack 5, which we can run. We can actually just run streams for.
That'd be cool.
Coming up sometime in the near future, I want to get not just Jackbox Party Pack 5, which is at about half its initial price. And that's it. Oh, they do have a pre-purchase. Looks like it's going to be $45 on June the. It's going to be $50 on June the 4th. So,
which
but if I try and
open
60. It in Steam, it doesn't. Oh, there it goes.
Yeah.
Mickey Mouse Pilot. Yeah, no, it's going to be 50. It's going to be $50. It's going to be $50 come the 4th of June. Unfortunately, money that I What?
I was gonna say that translates into $67 Canucka dollars minus a penny.
You loony bastard. Well, I don't think you actually have to pay the sales tax, so that's not going to be as bad. The Chaosbane Magnus edition is going to be $70, and there's a deluxe edition in between. Let's see what the differences are going to be. How about I do a thing here? Let's
okay, deluxe pack gets you a
window
pet pack and
capture
pack
for that. Let's do this. I'm going to show you guys what this is going to come out to. And yes, this is Steam. All right. So, the deluxe packs has optimized for co-op up to 4 players.
That's cool.
Of which we can do 2 now. Game may not mature content description. This game may contain content not appropriate for all ages. It may not be appropriate for viewing at work. Frequent violence. If you are viewing this game or playing this game at work, and your job is not to review video games or to make video games, you're probably not doing it right.
Yeah, you deserve to be fired. Period.
Well, I don't know necessarily that you would deserve
even if
to
it
be
was
fired,
Slime Ranchers.
but still, okay. Pre-order now to have access to closed beta, an XP bonus, and 4 helmets. The base game is going to be $50. The deluxe edition includes 4 days of early access, which means you get to play on the 1st of June, most likely. The deluxe pack is pets, emotes, and a gold boost. Pay to win. And with the season pass, you get the season pass alongside in the Magnus edition. You could get 3 DLCs and a whole other quest that would otherwise be missing. I'm not thrilled with the idea of an additional quest that way. That smacks of cutting. That smacks of cut content. And I don't appreciate that. I find that very, how they call that, anti-consumer.
Yeah.
And if that's the worst I have to bitch about at the moment, I suppose we're going to call that okay-ish. I do not like that thought that there's a new quest that could have been packed into the original game and your season pass has 3 DLCs. That just strikes me, unless it's going to still be in development and the new quest will be released later, then that makes it slightly more acceptable. But if that quest is just a piece that is going to be available day of release, then I'm not going to be a happy camper. I'm going to not like that a lot.
And it better be end of the game quest. Because I hate when they add something that would have helped you in the middle or the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
And then you have to get it as DLC. I like DLCs when they expand the game. Then I'm like, oh, okay, cool. It's like, oh, a new story, a new, a new realm, a new this to go explore that has nothing to do with the old story.
Mm-hmm.
That I'm like, thumbs up. But it's like where they cut out content and then resell it to you. It's like that'd be like selling you a car and then going, well, normally this would come with a steering wheel, but if you want to get the steering wheel, the DLC for it is, I think the steering wheel should come included with it. Well,
unfortunately, manufacturer says that it must be DLC and it's going to cost you $1,000 for that. Like, fuck that. I'll put one on. Fuck that and fuck your car too.
Yeah. I wonder how much you'll complain when we talk about the tire DLC.
$25,000 for tires. Ooh. Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
Well, let's see what we can come up with, Jackie. I think if we're going to do something like that, we probably want to talk to the developers about it.
That's what Skyrim's DLCs were. They were, they were whole new worlds or whole new. They
were complete chunks of content. Same thing happened with The Witcher 3. They kicking out little bits of DLC for free for a little while. Then they get you a big one, and then they kick out a few more. That's what I think of when I see games as a service. Okay, that's. As far as I'm concerned, and much as I hate sometimes to agree with Jim Sterling, I have to agree with him in this case. That would be games as a service.
Yeah.
Okay. the live services thing they've got going on now, that's bullshit. Okay? Trying to tie your games to some sort of DRM, to what they would think of as an incidental DRM, requiring an always-on internet connection to play it. I remember this. I remember hearing about a game called SimCity a while back. Where, yeah, bullshit. And the sad part of it is they patched it out. They patched the always online requirement out by stealing a hack that somebody had put together to cut the cord, and then bundling it as the fucking update.
Yeah. Well, the biggest thing.
Did I miss something here? It's not the first time that's happened. Ubisoft had to do that for one of its games, because they were talking, because it had originally been sold just physically, and then they started to sell digital versions, and there was an update and included some DRM that made the digital versions absolutely freaking useless. You could not play the game. It was on. I think they sold them via direct to drive. Somebody came up with a clever patch for it, and Ubisoft just stole the damn patch to take out their own DRM that they spent months struggling with because they just couldn't find a way to get it out. They put it in, they couldn't figure out how to get it out. Always have a way to take your shit out if you're going to put it in. But of course, Ubisoft doesn't learn like that.
Or either that, or make sure your DRM works properly, flawlessly. Well,
and the DRM
Steam's not perfect.
You know what the DRM in question was designed to do? Was to make sure you had the freaking disc in the drive. They didn't care about it. They didn't use the disc. They spun the disc up long enough to figure out whether or not it was an actual disc, and then you could play your game.
Oh, wow.
It's like, say what?
No kidding. Well, that still doesn't change that still doesn't change the statement I made. You make sure it works properly. It does a good job, and it doesn't interfere with people who legitimately own it.
Uberlimp wouldn't do that. You could pay Uberlimp not to do that, they'd do it anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, you buy a license for a game and then they take it away from you just because.
Yeah.
Uberlimp is known for this shit. They're known for being stupid. They're known for doing lots of things. And we are apparently now known for going over time. Because that's exactly what has happened. Let's see what I got.
Very few streams can keep on time.
Indigo Fox, the trading card. I don't even know what the hell that's supposed to be. Tell me. Oh, that's for tech support. Error unknown. I have no idea what that's supposed to be. All right. We'll just click that here for a quick second and see what that is. Apparently, Indigo Fox is a customer or something. Kamala Corwin, that was the lady we were talking to. Spence, Agent Lana Black. No. Oh, now I really don't want to know what's going to happen to that character. Alrighty then. So, I think that's going to about do it. Does anybody have any questions? Sorry.
Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Pieces.
Pieces, yeah.
Speak now or forever hold your nuts. Oh, there's the Indigo.
The only thing I can say is I'm looking forward to this week. I've been just saving on to enough money to buy Xenonauts 2 for those people who like XCOM type games. It's a little bit closer to old style compared to the modern XCOM, but
I actually need my own. From what I hear, this new Xenonauts game is actually going to have some co-op functions to it. Yes or no?
Oh, will it?
I think.
I don't know. I'll have to see.
I don't know that. I don't know that for certain. I only heard. And if that's the case, I have to get my own copy. Well,
yeah,
no, I don't.
That will only
I
work.
don't actually. What I need to do is put in an order here in about $5 to do the to do the thing to do one of the things that I was going to do anyway.
Yeah. Well, I just know that we reviewed some XCOM type games like that Mutant one that.
Yeah, Mutant Year Zero. Actually, Mutant Year Zero was one of the casualties last night.
Yeah.
Even though they did put up a new DLC, they put up something new for it in a patch, and I haven't even looked at it. To be honest with you, it probably requires that I be farther into the game than I am now, and I don't want to. Because even in simple, stupid, holy crap mode, that turned into a train wreck. I can imagine what the super. I can just imagine what super hard fuck you mode is going to result in. All right, I'm going to go ahead and remove that.
Yeah.
So I think that's it for us today. We will get to X4 Foundations, I think, in a couple of days. And yes, I'll pull the references to it because reasons. Not that I can even ask for my own copy of X4 Foundations now. But that's okay. I'll get over
it. Yeah, my mom bought me that for Christmas. I was very appreciative. I like the whole series. I bought most of the previous series, and I think only one game I'm missing after X2, but you know.
I wouldn't know. I haven't actually looked at your collection, Mr. Opal Dragon. I should probably do that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I actually. So. May as well say our goodbyes now.
Well, I was going to ask if you had any comments on the games that we did cover today.
I think pretty much stand by with what I said. I mean, I was pretty impressed by that last one. That Chaosbane there. That one. As I said, I got that on my wish list.
And actually, as Warhammer games go, it is in fact the first one of these Diablo. It is actually one of the first ARPG type things we've got going for the Warhammer series. Usually, it's either first-person shooters, which has happened a lot, which happens more in the 40K universe. Well, it would, or it's more strategy games. Or first-person hack and slash. We haven't actually had one like this to date, and I think Big Ben Interactive and the folks that did the rest, the folks for the development team, have done a fairly good job on it thus far.
Yeah. No. I agree. I wish them luck. I wish them luck in their development. I hope
here in a couple of months, we will know full well here in a couple of months exactly how this is all gonna play out. Come June, we will know all kinds of fun things, and I'm kind of hoping that the closed beta edition will turn into the full game when it finally gets round. But we shall see. Hopefully it'll just convert and I'll be able to cover it again when we have everything.
Yeah.
But I'll talk.
As long as they don't pull Battlefront 2, I think they'll be okay.
Well, they could pull a Battlefront 2, or they could pull a Battlefront, or they could pull freaking Battlefield V.
Oh yeah, that too.
Battlefield Victory. Historical realism, anybody? Can we have some, please? Yeah, we're going to do that. Toss. Okay.
Well, if you're going to go that route, you got to make sure it's completely meme-worthy. Because the memes for Battlefield 5 was just awesome.
Not to mention, the game itself was reasonably retarded. I was not amused by that.
Yeah.
So, I think that's going to about do it for us. Anybody from the chat got anything to pick at here, or it doesn't look like? I think Jackie's the only one actually still watching. That's okay though. Jackie's probably your mom, or my mom. She found the link again. Yeah, I think the chat may have actually died. It's been around. Yeah, I think it died out here a little while ago. That's okay. All right. So, so I suppose that's it for us today. Between now and the next time we see you, be safe, be sane,
and let's make games fun again.
Stay
or at least full of dragons.
All right, guys. We'll see you later. Bring on the flying ninja squirrel! Boom! Haha. Try not to be easily offended. It turns into a pain. Please stand by.